Good evening, everyone. Hey, welcome in. Hey, Define Yourselfers. It is Thursday, July 3rd, 19. I'm listening to 1980s music. Okay, July 3rd, 2025. I miss the 80s. Happy birthday eve for the United States of America. And here in the US of A, if you're not watching for the US of A, and you probably wear this anyway, we will be celebrating Independence Day tomorrow here in the great 50 states and other territories. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about tonight. Autism-friendly 4th of July. There's a lot of things going on the 4th of July, sensory issues, disruptions to our routines, etc. But we can make the 4th of July an enjoyable, inclusive event for everyone who's on the spectrum. So, let's me introduce myself and we'll get into this tonight's topic. I am Chris Mitchell, aka the Confident Autistic, and I'm coming to you live from my office here in Southwest Missouri. And let's see if that's going on. Okay, there we go. And I'm excited to be here tonight. If you are new to this channel, welcome. If you're watching this stream live, please tell me where you're watching from in the chat, and I will give you a shout out if I can pronounce your screen name. Most of them are easy to pronounce, but a few of them is like, can I buy a vowel? Vanna, pick me a letter, but that's okay. Everyone has uniqueness. We love it. We love it here. But I am the Confident Autistic from theconfidentautistic.com. Now, there's some really cool stuff going on that I would like to tell you about, which I'm going to get into tonight. A little bit later, we have some big news coming. Somewhat big news. But if you're new to this channel, welcome. On this channel is the Confident Autistic. I post videos that breaks down what autism is and will help you live confidently autistic, because that's our goal, is to be confident in who we are. I'm going to put something here in the chat. This is a link where if you are so inclined, and I'll put it in here again at the end of the stream, and it's in the video description as well, where you can get a free resource where you can get a PDF, a 28-page PDF that gives you an introduction to autism and some things you can start doing today to start discovering, developing, and growing your self-confidence. And it even has some interactive questions in there to get your mind going, and reflection questions for you. So I encourage you to get it. It's totally free, so it fits in everyone's budget. Or if you've seen that sketch on Saturday Night Live, I love this one with Steve Martin in it. Don't buy stuff you can't afford, I think it was called. And the guy was telling about this pamphlet that would help them, manage their money and all. And he said, and the pamphlet's completely free. And Steve Martin's character said, "Great, we can put that on our credit card." So yes, it is free. You can put this on your credit card. So yes, a free gift to you from me. So go and check that out. The link's there in the live chat and in the video description for those who are watching this in delay, not watching it live. That's fine if you're watching in delay. I have some big news about that coming up a little bit later at the end, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Now, as I said, today is the eve before the 4th of July here in the United States. I know our neighbors north of us, if they're still friends for far country, Canada, had their equivalent of Independence Day on July 1st. So if you're from up north, happy Canadian Day, which I think is also called Dominance Day. I'm not sure. Anyway, that is also going on this week. So share in the comments, what are your plans for the 4th of July? I'm going to share mine right now, a little bit of them, and go and share them throughout this tonight's live stream. And I will share mine as we do this and discuss the events, or discuss what we want to on how to have a autism-friendly 4th of July. Now, in the past, in my life, I've had challenges with 4th of July. One, as a child, even as a teenager, I love the concept of the 4th of July. I love the fireworks and all. And I don't mind going to a show per se, professional event. Like in St. Louis, they used to have what's called the VP Fair, Veil Profit Fair on the river. They still have it now. They don't call it that. And I like going to that. Now the crowds got to be a little bit. I don't like a lot of crowds, but I enjoyed watching the fireworks go off in the sky from a distance. Now the ones in the neighborhood when I was growing up, oh, I didn't like those. I complained about them, and they were loud. They were distracting to me. And this is before before I knew I was on the spectrum. And and my dad used to thought I was a grouch and a grump about the 4th of July and all that kind of bothered me a little bit. And now that about a year ago, I went through the screening and my suspicions were confirmed that I'm on the spectrum. And now I know why the fireworks always bother me. Now, as I grown up and become an adult, uh, and where I live now, well, when I lived in California, we would go to a baseball game, a minor league baseball game each year on the 4th of July when they were at home, because after the game, there was a big, big fireworks show that happened. And it was cool. It was big for our community. I mean, minor league team. So we're not talking like, New York or Chicago or Los Angeles style, but it was beautiful. I enjoyed doing it. My wife and I went. And that was part of our 4th of July. Now, since we moved back to Missouri on the 4th of July, I usually stay home. And for the first many years that I lived here, I would go outside and barbecue chicken on the 4th of July. And we would go outside and watch the fireworks. Now, from our back patio, we can see the fireworks show that's being shot up, I get, or occurring over a college that's not too far from our residence. So we could not hear the fireworks, but we could see the fireworks on the horizon. And our neighbors had shot off. And I want to thank my neighbors. I know they're not watching, but I want to thank them for spending thousands. Because I know fireworks are expensive, thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars on fireworks to entertain me and my wife because we would go outside and we used to watch them and all. Now, in the more recent years, and when I say that, I mean since 2021, we've been staying inside and just watching them on TV because of the fact that it's just easier for us to do as we're aging. Okay, we are. Everyone is aging, right? We're all aging. I'm as old as I've ever been. Every day you can say that. You know that, right? I know you do. Okay, so we watch it on TV. We stream a lot of different fireworks shows from around the country. I usually try to stream the one from St. Louis from one of the TV stations there, because that's my hometown. That's where I was born. Well, in that area, I was born in St. Louis City. That's right, I was. I lived in a suburb, though. That's why I got confused. Anyway, so I do that now. It's easier, not as much noise from outside, and it's easier on our pets too. Our cats, they get terrified at this time of the year. And we have a cat. Actually, it's my mom's cat named Charlie. He is a large tuxedo cat. He could easily take any cat by sitting on them. But he's the biggest coward we know. We call him Chicken of the Sea Charlie. Because most of the time he likes to live life underneath the blankets on my mom's bed. He very rarely comes out. But that's another story for another day. So, yeah, we usually do that. We just watch them on TV. We just enjoy that, and we spend time together. Now, I'm hoping, and I don't think my wife knows this yet, but I'm kind of hoping that I might be able to barbecue tomorrow or sometime this weekend. The problem is we spotted a wasp on our back patio the other day, and I don't mess with wasps. They are very antisocial. They don't like people. They don't even want other wasps around them. And my wife and I were talking about that the other day, and we said, how do they reproduce then? Which I think is a really good question. I don't know. Maybe they date and they're gone. They don't even, the male wasp says the female wasp, don't even don't even ask me for child support, alimony. I'm out of here. I'm gone. I don't know. But yeah, I want to make sure the wasp is clear before I go out on the patio. So we don't know. I'm hoping to barbecue sometime this weekend because I love barbecuing and barbecue chicken. So those are my plans for the 4th of July. Probably watch some baseball on TV during the day because you really can't see fireworks. I usually come in here and I work during the day, which I'm fine with. I mean, if I can catch a parade on TV, maybe, maybe not. I'm not a big parade person. Didn't even like them that much as a kid. It's just a lot of people around and noise and activities and the bands that went by. The bands were good. They were loud, but they were good. So those are my plans for the 4th of July. Feel free to share your plans in the chat, or if you're watching this in archive, share it in the comments. Now, we're going to get into tonight's topic here. Some ways we can create an autism-friendly 4th of July. Because the 4th of July is not just for people, for Aulistics. It's everyone. I mean, it's a celebration of our nation's freedom and our independence, and everyone should participate in that. Now, before I get into our presentation, I do want to share a couple reminders for those of you who want to shoot off fireworks this year. Okay, 3 reminders. 1, know your city ordinances. Okay, every year we're on a social media thing called Nextdoor, and every year people start complaining. Like July 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. I've even seen it happen July 11th. People are still shooting off fireworks, or they're shooting them off at 11:30, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and some people have to go to work the next day. So please know your local community's regulations. Now, part of the problem is where we live, we have ordinances, but not that far from where I live, there's no ordinances on this. So, but yet we can still hear the sound. It's kind of weird, but it does happen. Number 2, be careful and with fireworks. Know the ordinances again, what's legal and what is not. There's a lot of people who I live in the border of Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. I live in Missouri, and you can buy some fireworks in a adjoining state that may be legal in that state, but not in the state you're taking them to. In fact, I heard, and I don't know all the facts about it, but I heard today from my niece-in-law that there was a big explosion, like a cannon or some of these fireworks. Somebody tried to like 4 of them at once, and it started firing. The fire department had to be called out. So please know what's legal. And I always think this: it's hot outside. People spend the day, and I'm not being judgmental here, drinking. Okay. And when you drink alcohol and it's hot, it affects your body more. And then by the end of the day, you are in no condition to drive. Okay. And some of us are not if you drink alcohol. But yet we think we're sober enough to play with matches and fire. What could happen, possibly go wrong on this day? I don't know. I don't know. So, and the other thing, be mindful of animals. They're going to be traumatized from this. Okay. So keep an eye on your pets. Be extra careful with them. Spend some time with them. They'll appreciate it because it's hard on them as well. And there are people who have served in the military who have PTSD and cannot fully enjoy the 4th of July because of some of the sounds and stuff that they hear, or the explosions may trigger PTSD from before. So with all of that in mind, this is why we're doing this autism-friendly 4th of July. Because this is not just for people who are on the spectrum. It could be anyone who has PTSD from noise or any of these events. So without any further ado, let me get my notes up on my screen. And let's get started on our conversation about making this day an inclusive day for everyone. So let me I getting my ball stuck on paper. Take a drink of water and let's get started, okay? Now, creating an autism-friendly 4th of July experience involves being thoughtful about sensory sensitivities, routine disruptions, and social/emotional needs. Now, I know I'm talking to you, preaching to the choir here. Most of us are on the spectrum who are watching this. That's fine. And this is kind of written or presented for those who are organizing events and want to make sure it's inclusive. But no matter how this is written and presented, if you're on the spectrum, this is going to give you ideas on how you can advocate for the people who are hosting these events to make it an inclusive event. And to also understand that when you are at the event and everyone else has a great time and you're like, I want the noise to stop. You're not alone. Okay. Others feel the same way too. So here are some practical tips for making the day, the 4th of July, inclusive, safe, and enjoyable for autistic adults and children alike. Now, I know in the channel, we talk a lot about autism in adults, okay? But children are affected. A lot of things I talk about in the channel can kind of be tweaked or adapted for children. So tonight, we're not just talking about for autistic adults, but for autistic children in life. And remember, everyone experiences autism differently. Now, the first thing we can do is rethink fireworks. And this means we can offer alternatives. Instead of loud, bright fireworks shows, consider the following: watching fireworks on TV or YouTube. That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Attending a quiet firework event. Now, some communities offer sensory friendly displays. I did not know that myself, but and that could be kind of fun. Love to check one of those out. Use noiseless or sparklers or LED light wands. That'd be great for the kids. I remember as a kid, we used to get sparklers and run around the yard and watch the pattern of the light and the streams of light. No, it was kind of fun. That was my favorite part of 4th of July as a kid. My brother and I in the front yard running around with sparklers and chasing each other and running around this big pine cone tree we had. Now, if attending fireworks, bring noise canceling headphones or earplugs. Frankly, I don't leave the house anymore without my noise canceling headphones. I did a video on that on the headphones. It's on my channel, and I'll put a link to it in the video description a little bit later. If you're watching live, if you're watching it in delay, it's in there now. Anyway, or maybe in there now. So I never leave the house without my noise canceling headphones. Are not just noise canceling, they're also Bluetooth. So what helps me is uh, I will listen to my relaxation music or some of my music I enjoy. Some of my favorite music, the 80s music, or I'm a big Weird Al Yankovic fan. I can admit that. So I'll listen to that as well, and as well as contemporary Christian music. I like Matthew West. Or comedy. I like Jim Gaffigan, Mark Lowry, Bob Newhart, stuff like that. So, yeah. So bring those. I don't go anywhere without them. So if you go to a fireworks show and you're sensitive about noise, it's a no-brainer. But I'm going to bring it here and bring it out anyway. Bring noise canceling headphones or earplugs. Use sunglasses or tinted glasses to dim the brightness. So if the fireworks are too bright for you, it's okay. Do your Corey Hart thing, okay? I better not sing, but I don't want to get sued. And probably will have everyone stop listening because I'm not good at singing. But you can wear your sunglasses at night, just like Corey Hart talked about in his song. Which actually, the song, I listened to a lot of Casey Kasem too. The song, Corey Hart wrote that about his manager who always wore sunglasses. That was the inspiration for the song. So if you can use sunglasses or tinted glasses to dim the brightness of the fireworks if that is a sensitivity for you. And this is really great idea if you're sensitive, or maybe a great idea if you're sensitive to some of those flash ones that flash repeatedly, which for some people may trigger a seizure if they're epileptic. I'm not recommending you're epileptic, put on sunglasses and go watch them because I don't know your condition. But it's a thought to throw out there and consider. And of course, if you're going to a fireworks show, you can watch from a distance or from a car for a safer, quieter experience. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, I can stand on my back patio and I can look off in the distance and I can see the fireworks show that's being shot up at the local college. And I don't hear the sound, but I can still see the beautiful colors and displays of the fireworks. Now, the second thing that we could do to make the 4th of July more autism friendly is to celebrate at home. And as I mentioned earlier, I've been doing that. I've been doing that pretty much every year since we moved here. My wife and I moved here in 2006, but our first 4th of July here was 2007. So I don't think we've ever went anywhere on the 4th of July since we moved here. We talked about it, but we never did. Never realized that, but we stayed home. So you can celebrate at home. And when you celebrate at home, you can create a predictable routine with a visual schedule if needed. See, you have it if you go somewhere, the order of things and what's going to happen is out of your control. But if you have the 4th of July at your house, or you go to someone's house and let them know that you're on the spectrum, you can establish and understand what the routine is, what time we're going to barbecue, what time we're going to shoot off the fireworks, where we're going to shoot that off, where's a good place to be. You can have a limit of, you're not going to have well, you should not have 1,000 people at your house, but so you probably won't have a large crowd there. That is the benefit of celebrating home. And it's okay to celebrate at home, okay? Another thing you can do by celebrating at home that can help you um, have an autism-friendly 4th of July is prepare familiar foods and allow for personal choices in what to eat or skip. I mean, this isn't Thanksgiving dinner, okay? This does not have to be formal. I remember as a kid, we must eat turkey on Thanksgiving Day, and everyone must have cranberry sauce. I don't like turkey. And I don't care for cranberry sauce. And then it became a big argument with my parents because I would not eat that. I just wanted a pumpkin pie, to be honest, okay? So 4th of July, make it a buffet. Let people eat what they want to eat. No judgment, okay? So, and having familiar foods that you like can help you self-regulate during the 4th of July with all the chaos that's going on around you. Now, another thing we can do when we're at home for the 4th of July is have a quiet space available to retreat if things become overwhelming. Now, I know that's hard, okay? Because even when you go inside, you close the doors and all, we have really good windows at this house. We got we upgraded the windows. They're really wonderful. And they're noise canceling, not noise eliminating. Because even if you go inside and get away from all that noise, you may still hear that noise in the house. So even if you're inside and you find that quiet space, you still may want to use your noise canceling headphones. Now, the third thing we can do to create an autism-friendly 4th of July is to prioritize sensory needs. Okay? And this looks like this. Avoid scratching or uncomfortable patriotic clothing. Instead, use soft, tag-free, or weighted items. Most of my clothing for me is pretty comfortable. I usually wear a t-shirt. In fact, I'll be honest with you. When I'm not on camera, I usually don't have a shirt on at all at home. Okay, I don't like wearing shirts that much at home. In fact, I was at the doctor's office about a month ago, and I'm in the exam room and kept telling myself, I can't take my shirt. Well, it's the doctor's office, but I really can't take my shirt off. I can't take my shirt off. I can't take my shirt off. But you wanna make sure you're comfortable. So even though you may want to wear something that's patriotic, make sure it's comfortable. So when you go to the store and you say, I'm going to buy this cool shirt that has the American flag on it, make sure it's comfortable. And if the tags bother you in the back, get rid of those dang tags. You don't need them. You know what size you wear, right? Okay, you should. It took me many years to learn. In fact, sometimes, I gotta buy a new pair of pants. I gotta go and look inside the pants to see what size I'm wearing. I don't. My wife remembers that for me, but I don't. But anyway, so you do want to avoid scratchy, uncomfortable patriotic clothing or attire. I mean, you think it'd be kind of cute to wear a big Uncle Sam type of hat? If that's not comfortable, don't do it. Okay? Make yourself comfortable. And weighted items, if you want, bring a weighted blanket with you, or if you're at your own house, curl up with your weighted blanket if that helps you. I love my weighted blanket. Okay, another thing you could do to help make this a more sensory friendly 4th of July is to provide or use fidget tools. Now I'm looking for something here on my desk. There it is, my fidget spinner. It's nice and blue. I have one not in here, but I take places with me that's bright and red. And I have a white one in the house. So I got red, white, and blue fidget spinners. Very patriotic. This is something you can do. And, when you're waiting for the fireworks, you like watching patterns and stuff, you can hold this up and kind of watch it spin around like watching a ceiling fan. I love my ceiling fan. Anyway, so you can provide fidget toys or compression clothing. I have here, this is not when I use it, out of shape now. I have a compression sleeve because I think I have some arthritis in my elbow. So I will wear this on my arm, and you see me with this on some videos. I will wear this on my arm around my elbow, often because of my pain in my elbow. But also, I found myself just putting this on because I love the feel of the compressions clothing. I don't know, it just makes me feel comfortable. So and have some calming items like chewy necklaces or weighted blankets. We talked about weighted blankets earlier, but yeah, you probably those chewy chewy necklaces come in all different colors. You can get red, white, and blue ones. Maybe it's a little bit late to get them for this year, but you can get them for next year. Make it patriotic. Now, important thing to remember on the 4th of July, if you're on the spectrum, like me, you need to watch for sensory overload from crowds, smells like grilling or music, and adjust accordingly. And tomorrow you're going to go out, you're going to go and see a parade, you're going to go to some friend's house and barbecue, and then night there can be kids there can be fireworks, a whole day of sensory overload coming, right? Tonight, go to bed early, curl up your comfort blanket, and get ready for this. When I have a big day like that coming up, whether it be the 4th of July, just a day, I know I'm going to be on the road all day and around a lot of people. The day before, I make some me time to rest and get prepared for it, get my energy up. Then I schedule the day after it. I don't do much so I can recuperate from all that sensory overload. So that's something you can do. Now, the fourth thing that we could talk about is to make autism friendly 4th of July, is to focus on meaningful connections. Because everyone at the 4th of July is like, let's have fun, party time. And when that happens, people who are on the spectrum, like myself, who are a little bit more reserved and quiet, can feel left out. So we need to make sure we focus in these meaningful connections where we can be with a smaller group of people. So we can connect better instead of all these people, oh, hi Bob, hi Mike, and then really brief, bam, 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 bam. So to do this, we want to skip big parties and opt for a small gathering with trusted people. Just because your neighbor has 50 people at their house and they're parking the guest cars are parked in your front yard does not mean you have to have 60 people at your house. You could have a 4th of July celebration like I do. It's just me and my wife. I mean, I'm fine with that. Okay. Well, pretty fine with that. But yeah, I say that because when we lived in California, we would go over on the 4th of July and spend a little time with my parents and then spend the evening watching fireworks with my wife's parents. And I miss doing that. My mother-in-law has passed away. And my father-in-law lives in California and I live in Missouri, so we can't do that. So, but otherwise, we kept it small. We don't need to have, hey, let's invite everyone from the office over to our house. No, we don't do that. Okay. Now, I mentioned this. I know I mentioned this for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, but it applies to 4th of July or any holiday. Create your own traditions. And for example, you can create a family art project. You can make it a movie night. Okay. You can pick a particular movie. Now, for me, I do this throughout the year. On Christmas Eve, because my family, the Mitchell family, we get along better when we don't see one another. Okay. And I don't really like large family gatherings. So, and Christmas is a time you're supposed to be around people. And to prevent the loneliness that can occur at Christmas and the depression, because statistically, suicides unfortunately go up during the holidays. I created a tradition of watching particular movies and shows in a particular order. I watch Miracle on 34th Street each year. It's a Wonderful Life, a Honeymooners Christmas special I found, and Scrooge. I always have Scrooge in right about midnight. It's my Christmas tradition that I would do. And the Sunday before the fall semester begins in college, I even though I'm not in college anymore, I always watch Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. So I created some of these little traditions. You can do the same for the 4th of July. Maybe there's a movie you enjoy. It could be patriotic related. I remember back, I want to say in the 90s, the movie Independence Day came out. And a lot of people wanted to watch that in the 4th of July. In fact, I think it was released on the 4th of July that year. I'm not sure. So that can become your tradition. Make it a movie night. Maybe a particular movie you watch just on the 4th of July. Like the 2 days before Thanksgiving, because this is where the storyline begins in this movie. My wife and I watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So I know I'm kind of drilling this into the, beating a dead horse here, but basically, have a movie night. Find a movie that you like and make it just that night of the year. You're going to watch this movie only one time a year. And on the 4th of July, bam, you have a new tradition. Another tradition you can do is storytelling or backyard camping. My idea of camping and roughing it is Motel 6 or Super 8. Okay. If it does not have electricity, I don't want to be there. Okay. I'm not a camper. I'm not. And now, if you're hosting an event, you want to make sure this is autistic friendly. Let the autistic individual take the lead in how much they want to participate. So, for those who are hosting a party and you're having someone there who's on the spectrum, don't expect them to participate in everything. And don't force them to either. And if you're on the spectrum, remember you have rights, okay? That's what independence is about. Our country has rights and freedoms, and you have the freedom to decide in how much you want to participate and in what activities you want to participate in. And if you don't want to participate in something, that's cool. Just try to be polite and say, no, thank you. I'll pass on this. Something polite. Now, I'm going to pop over here. I'm going to try to pop over here. Can I pop over there? Okay. And there you are. Want to check something over there. Okay, so the fifth thing we can do for the 4th of July to make it autism friendly, it's a little bit late because, 4th of July is tomorrow. But, you can stay up late and do this or learn for next year if you're watching this later. Prepare ahead for the day. You can talk through what to expect on the day. And this includes the sounds, the people, or changes in routine. Now, if you're the host and you're having somebody there who's on the spectrum, tell them up front. And that means so much to us. I know it does to me. If I go to an event and I know what the program, you give me a program, what order is going to be, I feel at peace. I feel in control. But if I go to an event and they say, okay, it's going to start at 7 o'clock and there's no program, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what order is going to come in. I get really uncomfortable. So if you're the host of a party, remember to talk through what to expect on the day. Let your autistic guests know what sounds they may hear, who's coming, and what changes they may experience in the routine. And if you're on the spectrum, be aware and think this through. What sounds might I hear today that I don't normally hear? Are they going to be loud? Am I sensitive to them? How can I prepare for them? Who's going to be there? Who am I comfortable around to be my authentic self, who I feel safe with, and who maybe I'm not that comfortable with? So I know who I can retreat to if I need to get away. And figure out what changes are going to happen to your routine. Obviously, if you go to someone's house, you're not going to be in your own home. You're not going to be able to have dinner at 5. It's going to be whenever they have the barbecue. So take these things into consideration. Now, if you're hosting a party and you're having somebody over that is on the spectrum, and maybe this be more for children who is on the spectrum, but you know, anyone might benefit from this. Use social stories, visual aids, or calming scripts to help your autistic guests enjoy and participate in the experience. Now, this other tip I would like to share should not just be applied to the 4th of July, but I think it should be applied, and every autistic person should do this and have it with them whenever we leave our homes. And that is, we need to pack a sensory emergency kit with comfort items, snacks, and coping tools. Whatever that looks like for you, pack it. When I go somewhere, my wife got me the really beautiful blue drawstring backpacks. I love the color blue. You can probably tell. Blue shirt, blue hat, blue microphone, windshield, um, blue planner, blue compression sleeve. I'm wearing blue shorts. I have a blue ball. I have a blue fidget spinner. I love blue. Anyway, so she got me this really cool blue drawstring backpack. And whenever we leave the house, I put into it some bottles of water because I'm also diabetic and I need to stay hydrated. I'll put my ball in there at times because I use a rollator to get around, which, by the way, my rollators are also blue because I'm physically disabled as well. And I make sure I have my headphones on. I don't put them in the bag because I usually wear them. And, anything else that helps me feel comfortable. In my blue fanny pack, I have my red fidget spinner. I have a red one because if I drop it somewhere, it's easier for me to spot the color red against a dark background. So, yeah, just create a sensory emergency kit. That's really not a bad idea for a video, actually. Maybe I'll do one on that. If you'd like to see me do a video on that, put it in the comments. Let me know. Okay. Or if you have any other video suggestions, shoot them to me. Now, we're almost done with this list. We're up to number 6 out of 7. For people who are hosting the party and other guests, if someone's there on the spectrum, respect their choice not to celebrate. Okay? Or at least not, or maybe they celebrate in a different way than you do. Respect everyone's choice on how they want to celebrate, if they want to celebrate. It's fine. Just because someone does not want to celebrate the 4th of July because of the sensory issues does not mean they're not patriotic and does not mean they don't love America. It just they love themselves enough not to, you know, put themselves in a situation that can cause a meltdown or a shutdown. And the important thing we need to know is that some autistic adults may prefer to opt out entirely of the 4th of July, and that is okay. If you want to opt out of the 4th of July, that's okay. You don't need anyone's permission, okay? You can do that. And if someone is opting out of the 4th of July and you're an ally or host of someone who's on the spectrum, support that autistic person's decision without pressure or making them feel guilty. It takes a brave person to know, you know what, this is going to be too much for me. I'm going to step back. I'm not going to celebrate when everyone else is celebrating. And when you feel the culture pressuring you to participate in celebrations. Someone stands up and says, I prefer not to celebrate the 4th of July because it's too hard on my sensory challenges. Don't look down upon them. Don't judge them. Say, hey, way to go, man. You're looking out for yourself. And you need to look out for yourself. Now, the last thing that I like to talk about tonight about making an autism-friendly 4th of July is this. Number 7, educate and advocate. Use the day to talk about neurodiversity and freedom. Because when we're unmasking, okay, and we are being our authentic selves, that's freedom. We have that freedom to do that. We don't have to conform to societal norms of social expectations. Now, we do have to conform to laws, okay? And we should try to conform to some etiquette rules. But basically, when we are unmasking, that's a freedom. That's a choice. We have a right to that. And that's our own Independence Day. So if you're autistic, celebrate being uniquely yourself in the world that needs all kinds of minds. This is Disability Awareness Month. And part of the disability community is those of us on the spectrum. Disability awareness, disability pride, whatever you want to call it, okay? This whole month is about that. The month of July is, okay? And as this nation celebrates our freedom that we enjoy in this country, celebrate in whatever way you want your freedom to be uniquely yourself on this day. Make the 4th of July not just a celebration about this great country of ours, but make it a day that you celebrate your freedom to be your authentic autistic self. Okay? And that's important this entire month because it's Disability Awareness, Disability Pride Month. And we should be proud of this and not just celebrating the 4th of July, not just celebrate during the month of July. We should be our authentic selves 24/7, 365. That's what we should be doing every single day of the year. Be ourselves. And to do that, we need to live confidently autistic. And that means we need to know how to be confident in who we are, to discover, develop, and grow our self-confidence. And that is what this channel is all about. It's about two things: helping you, a late diagnosed autistic adult, someone pursuing a late diagnosis of autism, or someone who suspects or self-identifies as autistic, helps them understand this new world they are entering, and they realize they've been in, now they're understanding it, and helping you feel confident because society may judge us on autism, and there's stereotypes out there, and those can hurt us. But when we know how to discover, develop, and grow our own confidence, we can become unstoppable. So I mentioned earlier, I have an announcement to tell you about these streams, these live streams. We've been doing them on Thursdays since about first Thursday in November last year. Now, I'm going to be honest and transparent with you. Some people say that might not be the best idea to do, but with what I'm going to share, but I just believe being honest. Our numbers have been down a little bit on viewership. Now, I personally think it's because it's the summer, okay? But because I'm restructuring some stuff here at what I do on this channel, and and what some big stuff coming up this fall that I can't talk about yet, or later on this fall, early part of next year. We are moving. We're going to pack it up. We're going to move this live stream, and we're going to try a different night of the week. We're going to do these on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Now, this starts not next Tuesday. It starts July 15th. And as I just said that, I realized It starts the same time the Major League Baseball All-Star game begins, but that's okay. I don't really watch the All-Star game that much. I get MLB.TV. I get to see all the players whenever I want to. I don't need to see the All-Star game. So, but that's when it's going to start. Starting July 15th at 7 p.m. Central Time, we will be going live with these live streams. So they're moving from Thursdays to Tuesdays. Okay. So mark that on your calendar. Tell your friends, wake the neighbors, tell the kids, somehow communicate it to your pets. This is moving. So so no matter what you're doing on the 4th of July, this weekend, 3-day weekend, traveling or whatever, which if you're traveling away from your house, like out of town for a few days, that can even be more upsetting to you if you're on the spectrum. Okay. It can. Because your routine's gonna be messed up. You're not gonna be in your home environment. Enjoy the 4th of July. Know that things can get back to normal as early as Monday, okay? Maybe even Saturday, okay? It doesn't matter. This is just a holiday. It's a little thing that happens. Well, maybe not little, big, but I mean, it happens. But things will get back to normal. Remind yourself of that. You're going to get back into your routine. And during this holiday, do everything you can to maintain as much of your routine as you can. And that will help you stay regulated. And remember to advocate for yourself. It's okay to say no to events, okay? It's okay not to participate. It's not just the freedom of our country. Celebrate your own freedom and your own independence from societal pressures. So don't forget, we won't be back next Thursday night. No. We're moving to Tuesday, starting July 15th. So you're gonna want to do that. And I got rid of no, I didn't. Yeah, let's see. I did get this right. Hold on. And don't forget, I'm going to put the link again in the chat. It's for my free resource that will help you begin your journey to live confidently autistic. And when you do get my free PDF, 28-page PDF, you'll also be joining my newsletter. And my newsletter will let you know about the upcoming events. Now, before we go, because I know we're in a little bit of delay, I'm going to do a couple things here. One of those seven tips that I shared with you, 7 things. Let me quickly review them for you. That's the main ones, the main titles here. Let's go. Here we go. Rethink fireworks. That's number 1. Number 2 is to celebrate at home. Number 3 is to prioritize sensory needs. Number 4 is to focus on meaningful connections. Number 5 is to prepare ahead. Like a Boy Scout, be prepared. Number 6, respect the choice not to celebrate or exercise your choice in not celebrating if it's going to be too sensory challenging for you. And educate and advocate about autism on Independence Day. Of those 7 topics, which one resonated with you the most? If you're watching me live, put that into the live chat. And you're watching this in archive, tell me, which one resonated with you? Which tip really resonated with you? Which one are you going to imply that, not imply, apply this year, okay? You know, what one you're going to use this 4th of July. And if you are a host or an ally, which one leaped in mind you said, wow, I didn't think about that. I'm going to make sure I do that for my autistic friends and family members. So we're going to hang here for a minute or two. And I know the delay of me talking and you guys hearing me. So I'm just going to hang out here for a couple more minutes. Share that, or if you have any questions, I love to hear them. And we'll take questions for a while. And then we'll wrap up in, let me check the time here. We'll wrap up in about 3 minutes. So, yeah, or a little bit less than 3 because of the delay. But yeah, yeah, I, I hope you have fun on the 4th of July. Now, when I was a kid, one of the things we did in the 4th of July is we lit these little black dots that were called snakes, and they would turn into this little black paper snake and kind of and make a little smoke. And Dad did not like us doing it on the driveway because it left little black stains on there for a while until the rain came. But that was one thing my brother and I like. My brother liked doing. I was afraid of matches. Okay, I'm I I didn't like matches. I was afraid of it. But that's one thing we did. In all, I think my favorite part of the I'm going to say something, and I don't I hope you guys don't understand. And I don't want the hate mail or anything because I won't read it. I don't do negative stuff. I never cared that much for the 4th of July. I mean, the fireworks were cool. I like watching the fireworks, but all the noise, and sometimes we would leave our house in St. Louis and would travel here to Southwest Missouri where my dad had a lot of family. I hated that because I was away from my home, and my dad's side of the family at the time was pretty large. Okay, there was a lot of people. We probably had about a dozen to 2 dozen people around us at times. That was way too much for me, and I got into a lot of trouble because I could not handle all of that stuff. And the one thing I remember the most, I still regret to this day, was 1976. 1976 for the 200th birthday of this country. And I was growing up in St. Louis, and St. Louis is going to have one awesome 4th of July celebration that year. 200 years, big cities will do that. 4th of July, it was a Sunday night, and I was here in Southwest Missouri, Joplin, because that's where my parents, my dad's family is. A lot of them lived. And I spent the 4th of July in my Uncle Ben's house. I like my Uncle Ben. He was a cool guy. Looking out his patio door at a measly couple of little fireworks off in the distance. It was the suckiest 4th of July I had in my life. Now, I'm not putting down Joplin, okay? But I'm a city person, but I'm not putting down Joplin. But I really wanted to be in St. Louis at a big celebration. And I was there. I don't know. It's one of the two things that happened in my childhood that I still haven't let go of, that I regret, that I did not enjoy. The other thing is, I don't know if you're my age, you remember this. I think they still exist, but they were really pushed hard in commercials by Sears back in the day. Garanimals. I wanted Garanimals. It's so cool. You get to match the head of the zebra with the bottom of the zebra, so you can get your shirt and your pants to match. It's cool. My mom wouldn't buy me Garanimals. She wouldn't. I still remind her of that on a daily basis. I'm one of those Garanimals. I still do. I think that was so cool, but they don't make Garanimals for adults. But I love that idea. Anyway, let me check the time. Okay, we're about done. We're about out of here. Thank you for watching. If you joined me live, thank you. And if you watched in delay, wonderful. Let me know you watched it. I do read each and every single comment. And you know I read your comment because I don't reply to all of them, but I thumbs up every comment. And if it's a really cool comment, I'll even give it a little heart. So yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts on here. If you have any ideas for topics for upcoming live events or what you'd like to see in a live, send them to me. You can post them in the comments, or you can email me. My email address is Chris, CHRIS, at define, DEFINE, YOURSCLF.US. So happy 4th of July, no matter how you're celebrating it, spending it with friends, family, or by yourself, whatever traditions. And if you start a new tradition for yourself, share it. I would love to hear your new traditions, what you do in the 4th of July, to celebrate it your own way that is autism friendly for you. So until we meet again, which will be, well, you can catch me in one of a video on my channel, or when we meet live again on July 15th at 7 p.m. Central Time. I want to wish you and your family and your friends a safe and happy 4th of July. Okay, be careful with those fireworks; they can be dangerous, and to be responsible about it and careful. And when you do, if you're shooting them off or you're around people shooting them off, clean up after yourselves, okay? Because nobody likes driving over all of that stuff. So, happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day, happy 249th birthday to the U.S. of A. Until we live again, check out all the videos. Over 260 videos on the channel. That should keep you entertained. Until we meet again live on July 15th, 7 p.m. Central Time. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. And remember, I want you to live confidently autistic.